Hello, students. Today we are going to study the chapter number 4 of Moments in the Kingdom of Fools. It is written by A.K. Ramanujan. In this chapter, the writer wants to say that wisdom is worshipped everywhere, whereas foolishness is our greatest enemy. And with the help of wisdom, we can make a difference between right and wrong. When our life is in troubles, we can fight with them and make our ways with the power of wisdom. It lives with us and never dies, even if we leave this world. Obviously, the wise people are worshipped everywhere. So let's start with the chapter. In the kingdom of fools, both the king and the minister are idiots. Kingdom means a country which is ruled by a king or queen. So in this kingdom, both the king and the minister, they were idiots. Idiots means they were fools. They didn't want to run things like other kings. So they all just want to do just opposite to the other kings. What the other kings are doing, they don't want to follow those things. So they decided to change night into day and day into night. So they all decided that they will change the night into day and day into night. They ordered that everyone should be awake at night, till their fields, and run their businesses only after dark, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. So the king ordered them that everybody would be awake at night, means they will not sleep at night. They will do their work at night only. They will run their businesses only after the dark, when after the sunset. And as soon as the sun comes up, they all will go for sleeping. Anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death. And if someone disobey means not follow the rule, if they refuse to obey the king, so that person would be punished to death. The people did as they were told for fear of death. As they all were afraid of death, of punishment, so they decided that they will follow what their king is telling them. The king and the minister were delighted at the success of their project. Delighted means very happy. The king and their minister, they were very happy because the project which they started, project means the plan which they want, that project was very success. Means everybody started following that rule. One day, a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. So, what happened one day? One guru and his disciple means follower, unka shishya, they arrived at this place. It was a beautiful city. It was broad daylight, then. So, it was a day and they reached that city, but what they found, that there was no one in the city. Nobody was out. Everyone was asleep, not a mouse stirring. Everybody was sleeping, and they said that even the mouse was not even found there. Even the cattle had been taught to sleep by day. Cattle, animals. So animals also adjusted themselves and they also started sleeping in day. The two strangers were amazed by what they saw around them. Two strangers. Stranger means the person whom they don't know, the person who are new for them. So they were very amazed. They were very surprised what they saw, and wandered around town till evening, and they moved all around the town throughout the evening, but they didn't found anyone there. When suddenly the whole town woke up and went about its nightly business. Now, as the evening, as the darkness came, all of a sudden, the whole city woke up. Means everybody woke up and they started doing their work. The two men were hungry now that the shops were open. So, after when the darkness started, all the shops were open, and now what they found? They found that the man, people, all the people were moving here and there. They went to buy some groceries. Groceries means store selling foodstuffs. They went to buy some foodstuffs. So what they found? They went to buy some foodstuff. To their astonishment, they found that everything cost the same, a single dudu. Dudu is a cost, price, money. Dudu is a money. So to their surprise, what they found that the cost of everything is a single dudu, one paisa. Whether they bought a measure of rice or a bunch of bananas, it cost a dudu. Means whatever they purchased, they got everything of 1 rupees. The Guru and his disciple were delighted. They were very happy. They were very pleased. They had never heard of anything like this. They could buy all the food they wanted for a rupee. So they all were very happy, and they have not even heard about these things earlier before in their life. They have not seen that everything, how much, whatever they want, the amount, they only have to pay a single rupee. When they had cooked and eaten, the Guru realized that this was a kingdom of fools and it wouldn't be a good idea for them to stay there. So, when as they were hungry, so after purchasing the material, they cooked it and had taken the stuff. So the Guru realized that this kingdom is not fit for them, that it would be not a good idea for them to stay there for a long. This is no place for us. Let's go, he said to his disciples. So the Guru asked his disciple that they will not stay there for a long and they will go from here. But the disciple didn't want to leave the place. Everything was cheap here. Cheap means sasta. So the disciple was very the disciple didn't want to go from there because everything whatever he used to purchase, he was getting at a very cheap rate. All he wanted was good, cheap food, and he only needs a good and cheap food. The Guru said, they are all foods. This won't last very long, and you can't tell what they will do to you next. Here, the Guru warned the disciple, but the disciple was not at all ready to follow his Guru. The Guru told him that they are all fools, so it won't last there for any longer time. So, at next, what will happen? You can't say. But the disciple wouldn't listen to the Guru's wisdom. But the disciple was very excited to be there because everything was very cheap. So he didn't listen to the Guru's words. He wanted to stay. The Guru finally gave up and said, do what you want, I am going. As the disciple was not wanting to go with the Guru, so the Guru decided and told him that do whatever you want to do, and he left from there. The disciple stayed on, ate his fill every day, bananas and ghee and rice and wheat, and grew fat like a street side sacred bull. So now what happened? The Guru went away from there, but the disciple stayed there and he used to fill his stomach every day because everything was cheap. So he used to purchase many things and he got He grew up like a fat, like a sacred bull. Bull, you know, Bal. Okay, so what happened? He became very fatty. One bright day, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house, and there was a merchant in that city. So one bright day, because every day everybody was sleeping in the day. So during day, a thief entered to the merchant's house. He had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in. Sneaked in means he entered the house through that hole very secretly. Okay, chupke se. So what that thief did? He made a hole in the wall and entered the house through it very secretly. And as he was carrying out his loot means the material which he has taken from the merchant's house, and when he came back after carrying all the things, the wall of the old house collapsed. Collapsed means गिर जाना, टूट जाना, है ना? To fall. The wall of the old house fall on his head and killed him on the spot. That thief was killed on the spot. He was killed then and there because the wall fell on him. His brother ran to the king and complained, Your Highness, when my brother was pursuing his ancient train. So, what happened? The brother of that thief went to the king and he asked him that when my brother was pursuing means that he was doing his ancient train. Ancient train means vyapar, old trade. A wall fell on him and killed him, and that wall fell on him and killed him. And this merchant is to be blamed. He pleaded the king that the merchant should be punished for killing his brother. Why? Because he said that he should have built a good, strong wall. You must punish the wrongdoer and compensate the family for this injustice. So, what the brother of that person asked to the king that as his brother was died by falling off the wall on him and he was killed. So, the merchant is to be blamed, and because he has not built the good and strong wall, so he should punish the wrongdoer. Wrongdoer means the one who has not built the wall strong, and compensate. Compensate means chati purti, means to give them the money for the losses what they have faced, the family for this injustice. The king said, Justice will be done. Don't worry. And at once summoned the owner of the house. Summoned the owner of the house means the merchant was called. When the merchant arrived, the king questioned him, What's your name? Such and such, your highness. Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house? Burgled means chori karna. So the king inquired him that when the burglar entered his house, that is, he break into his house, whether he was at home at that time or not. So the merchant said, Yes, my lord, he broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him. So simply he said that he entered the house and the wall was weak. So it fell on him. The accused pleads guilty. Accused means convict, doshi. He says that yes, he is guilty. Your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you. So what he said, what the king said, that your wall has killed that man's brother, and that means you have murdered a man. so you should be punished. Lord, said the helpless merchant, I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him. So now here the merchant said that I have not made that wall. This wall was made by the person, so that person should be punished. So the king asked him, who is that? My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby. So the merchant said that this wall was built in his father's time, means when his father was alive. So that wall was built in that time, and he know that person who has built that wall, and now that person is an old man and he lives nearby. The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. Messenger means one who delivers the messages. So the king sent the messengers to bring the bricklayer. Bricklayer means the one who made that wall. So what happened? They brought him tied hand and foot. So that bricklayer was brought in front of the king, and that old man was tied hand and foot. You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. So the king asked him whether he has built that wall in his father's time. So he said, yes, I have built. What kind of wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. So now the king said that you have built that wall very big. So, and that wall has killed a person, poor person. So you are a murderer. So you should be punished for that thing which you have done. Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer pleaded. Execution means the carrying out of a plan. So before the king could order that his plan should be carried out, the poor bricklayer pleaded. Pleaded means gidgidana, to pray. So the bricklayer pleaded that, please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true, I built this wall and it was no good. So he accepted that the wall which he has made is not good. But that was because my mind was not on it. And he also accepted that when he was making that wall, his mind was not there. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling. And I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. So he said that when I was making a wall at that time, one dancing girl was passing by from that portion, and her ornaments were making some sound. They were producing some sound, anklets, pile, jingling, awaj. So that sound disturbed him. So he was not able to concentrate on the wall. So he said that you must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives. And he excused himself by saying that I am not a culprit. That dancing girl should be punished. She is a culprit because she has disturbed my mind. You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that dancer wherever she is. So now the king ordered his messengers to bring that dancer here. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling to the court. So now the dancing girl was called there, and she was also an old woman now, trembling. Trembling means shivering. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? So the king asked him whether she has seen him making the wall, and she went from there many times. Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him. Distracted means you diverted his mind. So the king said that you diverted the mind of this person. So he built a bad wall. It has fallen on a poor burglar and killed him. Burglar means chore. So you have diverted the mind of that builder, and he has built that wall very weak. So that wall has fallen on a poor burglar and he has killed him. You have killed an innocent man. Innocent means not guilty. That person was not guilty. You will have to be punished. So now order this king said that now as you are the culprit, so you will be punished for killing an innocent person. She thought for a minute and said, "My lord, wait. I know now why I was walking up and down that street." So now that dancer said, just ask the king to wait for a moment. And she said that I know why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. Goldsmith means a person who makes gold articles. So she said that I have given some gold articles to the goldsmiths to make some jewelry for her. And he was a lazy scoundrel. Scoundrel means dishonest person, the person who could not be, uh, who are dishonest. So she said that he was very lazy and he was very dishonest person also. He made so many excuses. Means that person always gave excuses to her, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. So the throughout that day he always gives her excuses that I will give you just after 2 or 3 minutes, after an hour, after 2 3 hours, like that. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. So that person called me there for many times. That was when this bricklayer saw me, and at that time only that bricklayer saw her. It's not my fault, my lord. It's the damned goldsmith's fault. So, damned goldsmith fault means dishonest. So, what excuses she gave? That it is not her fault and it is the fault of the goldsmith. Poor thing. She is absolutely right, thought the king, weighing the evidence. Weighing the evidence means evidence, proof. So now the king thought that she is also right. We have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith wherever he is hiding. So he ordered that to bring the culprit, that is the goldsmith, wherever he is hiding at once. The king's bailiffs searched for the goldsmith. Bailiffs means official persons. Official person. The king's official persons. They searched for the goldsmith, and he was hiding in the corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation against him, accusation means charge. So when he heard that the king has charged against him, so he hid himself in the corner of his shop, and he made his own story to tell the king. "My lord," he said, "I am a poor goldsmith. It's true I made this dancer come many times to my door. I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's order." So now what excuses he gave? He said that yes, this is true that I made this dancer to come many times to his door because he was not able to finish the making her jewelries, because he has to make the rich merchant's order first. They had a wedding coming and they wouldn't wait. You know how impatient rich men are. So what he said that The rich merchant has ordered them many jewelries to be made because the wedding ceremony was in their house, so they were not ready to wait for a long. So he made the dancer to wait for much time. Who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelries? Made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall. So now the king asked the goldsmith that who is that rich person who has made this poor man to poor woman to come many times to your places, and that distracted the bricklayer's mind. So who is that person? And just because of this distraction, that bricklayer was not able to make the wall very nicely. So that wall has fallen on an innocent man and had killed him. So can you name him? The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. So goldsmith named the merchants, gave the name of the merchant, and that merchant was none other than the merchant whose wall has fallen on the burglar. Now justice had come full circle, thought the king, back to the merchant. So now the king said and thought that now the justice is going to be over. When he was suddenly summoned back to the court, he arrived crying. It wasn't me, but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead. I am innocent. So, when the merchant was called in the court, the merchant pleaded to the king that it is not my fault. It was my father who ordered the jewelry, and now he is dead. He is no more. I am innocent. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. Consulted means to discuss. So the king discussed with his ministers and he said, it's true, your father is the true murderer. He is dead. But somebody must be punished in his place. So what he said that yes, this is true that your father is really a true murderer, but at present he is no more. He is dead. So somebody should be punished in his place. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours. Inherited means that he has received everything after the death of the previous owner. He has received everything, that is building, jewelry, everything, money from his father. And as your father was criminal, so as you have accepted his riches, so you should accept his sins also. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die. So now the king said that I know that when I saw you at the first time, I thought that you should die because you are the real culprit. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servant sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, stake means a wooden post that is pointed into the ground to support something जहां पर फांसी दी जाती है. So he ordered his mans to make a new stake, and when the servants were sharpening that stake and they made ready for the criminal to be punished, they found that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. They found that the stake was the whole of the stake was much thicker than the neck of the merchant. So the king too worried about it. King was also worried about it. Now what to do? What shall we do? He said. When suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. So, as this was a kingdom of fools, the king thought that somebody should be punished. Somebody should fit that stake. So they searched for a man who should be fat enough to fit that stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake. So now the servant went all over the town and they searched for a fat person who could be easily fit on that stake. And their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. So what happened? Now they met the disciple who was there and he was getting fat and fat. So they brought him. What have I done wrong? I am innocent. I am sannyasi, he cried. So when they were bringing him to the king, he said that I have done nothing wrong. I am innocent. I am sannyasi. That may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake. Royal decree means it is a royal order. So the king's order. When the disciple asked him that I have done nothing wrong, I am innocent. So why you are taking him? They said that this is a royal, that is, this is an order from a king that we should find a man which should fit to that stake. They said and carried him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise guru's words. So now he remembered his guru's words. He said that this is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next. So he remembered now that he was right when he said that this is a city of fools and it next they will do with you. Nobody knows. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. So when everybody was waiting for the death, he prayed to his guru in his heart and asked him to hear his voice and come to save him. The guru saw everything in a vision. Vision means dream. The guru saw everything in his dream because he had a magic powers. He could see far and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. So guru was able to see the future also and present and past. So in his dream, he saw that his disciple is in a problem. He arrived at once to save his disciple who had got himself in such a scrape through love of food. So the guru arrived at that place and he found himself that his disciple has just only because of the love of food he had arrived at such a situation. He has created such a situation. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Whisper means politely, was softly. So when he arrived there, he just whispered in the ears of his disciple. Then he went to the king and addressed him. O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple? So he asked the king that who is greater, the guru or the disciple? Of course, the guru. No doubt about it. Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first. Put my disciple to the death after me. So now the guru said to the king that as the guru is the greater person, so he should be put to the stake first and then the disciple. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor. Me first. You brought me here first. Put me to that first, not him. So, what happened there? Now, both guru and disciple started fighting that the guru started saying that I should be first put to the stake, and the guru said that I should be put first to the stake. The guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled. Puzzled means confused by this behavior. The king was very confused. He was not at all able to understand what is happening. He asked the Guru, "Why do you want to die?" "We chose him because we needed a fat man for the state." So the king asked the Guru why he wanted to die. And we chose the fat man because he was only fit for that state. "You shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first," replied the Guru. So Guru said that you should not ask me such type of questions. You just put me to death. Why? There is some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understood. Mystery means secret. So now the king was very excited to know the secret. What's the secret behind this? He asked the Guru why he want to die first. "Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you?" So now the Guru replied that if he tells him, then he should put him first to the death. The king gave him solemn word. Solemn word means shapath. The Guru took him aside out of the servant's earshot and whispered to him, "Do you know why we want to die right now, the two of us?" So now the Guru asked the king why he want to die, why they both of them want to die at first. "We have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you." So he said that we roamed throughout the world, but we didn't found a city like this, neither a city nor a king. That stake is the stake of the God of justice, and the stake on which the disciple was going to be hanged is the stake of the God of justice. It's new. It has never had a criminal on it. And he said that this stake is new and first time some criminal is going to be hanged here. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. So he said that whoever will die first on that stake, that person after taking a birth again will become the king of this country. And whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. And he said that whoever goes at the second place will become the minister. First person will become the king and the second will become the minister. We are sick of our ascetic life. Ascetic means saint life. So what he said that we are sick of this saint life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. Now he said that it would be very grateful for them to become a king and minister. "Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first remember." And he said to the king that now you keep your promise and you just put me to death first and my disciple the second. The king was now thrown into deep thought. Now the king was very serious. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. As he was full, he doesn't want to that in the next birth somebody else should take his place. He needed time. So he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. So the king ordered his ministers to postpone this execution that they will do the next time. It's not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in the next life. So the king said that it will not be a good that somebody else will become the king of this kingdom. So let's go on the stake ourselves and we will be reborn as king and minister again. So he said that let's go to the stake ourselves and we will be reborn as a king and minister again. "Holy men do not tell lies," he said, and the minister agreed. He said that holy man, the sacred people never said lies. So let's follow them. So he told the executioners. Executioners means one who hang the criminals. We will send the criminals tonight. When the first comes to you, put him to death first. So the king said to the executioner that we will send the criminals in the night, and the one who comes first, you put him first to the death, then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistake. That night, the king and his minister went secretly to the prison, released the guru and the disciple, disguised themselves as the two, and as arranged beforehand, with loyal servants were taken to the stake and promptly executed. So disguised. Disguised means they changed their appearance. They became the guru and disciple and ordered their servants that they should be taken to the stake, and they were executed there. When the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. So when in the morning, when the bodies of the criminals were thrown for the crows and vultures, the people panicked. Panicked means they were frightened. They were frightened. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister. They found the bodies of the king and the minister, not the body of the guru and disciple. The city was in confusion. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Mourned means to express grief, शोक प्रकट करना. So throughout the night they mourned and discussed about the future of their kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. So some people thought about the guru and disciple, and they went to catch them, and they both guru and disciple, they were ready to go away from the town without being noticed by the people. We people need a king and a minister, said someone. Others agreed. They begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. So all the citizens of that kingdom, they begged the guru and the disciple to become their king and their minister. It didn't take many arguments to persuade the disciple. Means the disciple was very excited to become the minister, but it took longer to persuade the guru. But the guru took much time to become the king. They finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister on the condition that they could change all the old laws. And they only decided that they can become the king and the minister, and they will rule the kingdom according to their rules. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day. And you could get nothing for a dodo. It became like any other place. So now everything was changed. Day was day and night was night, and nothing was very cheap. Of that, the thing was not of only a single rupees. Now the place was same as the other place. So this is the story. Thank you.